There are some documentaries that entertain, there are some that inform, and then there are those rare once-in-a-generation films that completely absorb you, overwhelm you, and stay with you long after the credits roll, and send you straight back into the artist's world. Billy Joel and So It Goes is firmly in that final category. Directed by Susan Lacey and Jessica Levine and produced as a two-part HBO event, this documentary is quite simply one of the finest, most complete and most emotionally resonant portraits of a musician ever committed to film. It is long, expansive, sometimes raw and uncomfortable, and at times overwhelming in detail, and yes, it's absolutely unquestionably worth every single minute. If you love music, if you love storytelling, if you love seeing the layers behind the greatness, then this is essential viewing. And if you're like me and you thought at first, my goodness, this is a very long documentary about one musician, let me assure you, by the end, you'll wish it was longer. Billy Joel is not just a singer or a songwriter. He is a composer, a poet, a pianist, a lyricist, an arranger, a performer, a historian of his own emotions, a deeply flawed, deeply fascinating, intensely gifted man. This documentary doesn't present him as a perfect idol. It presents him as a human being riddled with contradictions, haunted by childhood wounds, shaped by love and heartbreak, fueled by both brilliance and self-destruction. Born and raised on Long Island, his early life was defined by loss, the quiet devastation of his father leaving the family when Billy was just 8 years old. That absence never left him. It shaped everything: his music, his relationship, his fears, his insecurities. We learn more about his Jewish German roots, his grandparents surviving Nazi Germany, his grandfather's clothing factory in Nuremberg being taken by the Nazis and ultimately used to manufacture garments for Jewish prisoners, including the hauntingly iconic striped uniforms of the concentration camps. Those echoes of history appear later in Joel's songwriting, most powerfully in his beautifully philosophical ballad Vienna. This is not just a music documentary, it's a generational story, a family story, a story of survival, trauma, reinvention, and identity. What struck me most is how clearly the documentary shows that Billy Joel's songs are not just compositions, they are diary entries set to music. Every album, every lyric, every chord is tied to a moment, a feeling, a memory, a heartbreak, a triumph, or a fear. You see his love affair with Elizabeth Weber, his first wife, previously in relationship with his best friend, and how that impossible, complicated, forbidden love became the fuel for songs like Just the Way You Are, She's Always a Woman, She's Got Away, and even Stranger. You see the reluctant genius who never wanted to put Just the Way You Are on an album, a song that would go on to be one of his most iconic ballads. You see the birth of Piano Man, not as some manufactured hit, but as a real piece written from his time playing in a piano bar, observing ordinary people, ordinary lives. When the industry tried to shorten it, sanitize it, commercialize it, he answered with The Entertainer, a sharp, brilliant middle finger to the machine. Cold Spring Harbor, Piano Man, Turnstiles, The Stranger, 52nd Street, Glass Houses, The Nylon Curtain. These albums aren't just milestones, they are chapters of a mental, emotional, and creative evolution. With Phil Ramone and songs like Pressure, Allentown, and Goodnight Saigon, he shifted his focus towards politics, trauma, social struggle, and the working class. This was a man reacting to the world around him, every era carved into vinyl. Perhaps the most powerful element of the documentary is its brutal honesty. It does not romanticize his alcoholism. It doesn't gloss over the motorcycle accident that nearly ended his career, or the long periods of self-destruction and emotional chaos. It shows his broken marriages, his strained relationship with fame, his deep discomfort in the spotlight, his financial devastation when his former brother-in-law stole millions from him. But what's remarkable is that all of this darkness didn't destroy him, it shaped the depth of his art. His brokenness became poetry, his alcoholism became melody, his heartbreak became timeless lyrics. Few artists have taken their pain and turned it into something so beautiful, so universal, so real, that we can all, in some way, relate to. The list of voices in the documentary are staggering, from the likes of Bruce Springsteen to Paul McCartney, from Pink to Nas, from the Eagles' Don Henley to the likes of Garth Brooks. Each one speaks with genuine reverence, not just admiration and awe. They don't just talk about Billy Joel like a colleague, they talk about him like he's a phenomenon. And the most astonishing interview of all, of course, is with Elizabeth Weber, speaking on camera for the first time in 40 years. The woman who shaped him, guided him, managed him, broke him, and inspired him. She's the ghost behind the music, and seeing her reflect on what they were, what they had, and what was lost is haunting. Add to that the presence of Christy Brinkley, who herself was a supermodel and Billy Joel's second wife, and their daughter, Alexa Ray Joel, his current wife, Alexis Roderick, and it becomes a full circle story of love, chaos, rebirth, and family. One of my favorite revelations was learning more about his long-time collaboration and joint tours with Elton John, two giants often compared, yet fundamentally so different. Billy Joel was the true musical all-rounder. Elton John is an icon, a superstar, a performer beyond scale. But Billy Joel He was an architect, the builder, the writer, the classical mind, the composer. His foray into classical music proves this. He wasn't just a pop star dabbling. This was a musician returning to his roots, expanding his art form, stepping into the realm of symphony and opus. And yet, even with that level of genius, he never sought grandiosity. His home remained the piano. His sanctuary remained songwriting. His long-running Madison Square Garden residency was one of the greatest in music history, felt less like an ego and more like a homecoming. If I have only one minor criticism, is that the later years feel slightly rushed. After spending so much time in his early and mid-career, I just wanted a bit more reflection on his final transformations, his slowing down, his acceptance, his peace. But even that is only noticeable because the documentary is so strong everywhere else. Susan Lacey and Jessica Levine have created something extraordinary here, and with executive producers like Tom Hanks and Sean Hayes, that level of quality shines through in every frame. It is honest, it is raw, it is poetic, it is respectful, and above all, it is real. Billy Joel is more than just a musician. He is an historian of emotion, a storyteller of common and uncommon lives, a poet with piano keys, a modern-day Mozart in denim and leather. There are very few artists in history that can be truly called a genius without exaggeration, but Billy Joel is one of them. Billy Joel and So It Goes is not just a documentary, it's a musical autobiography, a psychological portrait, a work of art, a living archive of one of the most profound talents of our time. Billy Joel and So It Goes gets a 9.5 out of 10. This is truly a masterpiece, essential viewing for anyone who loves music, history, or the extraordinary journey of a human soul turned into song. So what did you think of Billy Joel and So It Goes? Please let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dive reviews.